everyone, welcome. बहुत ही स्पेशल शो है. We are celebrating International Women's Day and हम लगातार आपके पास एक के बाद एक strong woman voice लेकर आ रहे हैं. उनकी journey we are trying to understand, discuss, take inspiration from. And today let me welcome one of the guests that's joining me is वक्त हमारे साथ Asha Kharga. She's the Chief Customer and Brand Officer and member Group Executive Board at Mahindra. Asha, welcome on the show. बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. Thank you for sparing time and talking to us. हम celebrate कर रहे हैं Women's Day, and I think, well, we all have in many ways have agreed and understood that it's really not about one day that we should celebrate. We should celebrate ourselves every single day. But having said that, I think the fact that we understand the role and importance of women as leaders, I think that's coming out very strongly as we speak. So पहले तो मैं आपसे आपकी journey समझना चाहूंगी. For many women who are looking and watching this show would want to know your journey and how you kind of worked around it to make your life and your journey successful.
Thank you, Swati. Thank you for having me on the show. And it's a great pleasure to be talking to you. To meet you personally is something that we have to do going ahead, but great to be connecting with you for the first time. So my journey is I think 25 years now of a professional career and across 3 industries. So my first 10 years, मैंने साबुन और शैम्पू बेचा, मैंने चाय बेची, मैं हिंदुस्तान लीवर में भी काम किया है. एंड उसके बाद 10 years मैंने एडवर्टाइजिंग में बिताया है, जिसमें काफी सारे ब्रांड्स पे काम किया है मैंने. हिंदुस्तान लीवर, प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल, टाइड, क्लोजअप, रेड लेबल चाय, लिप्टन ग्रीन टी, काफी सारे घरेलू पदार्थ मैंने बेचे हैं. लिटरली सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग किया है. उसके बाद मैंने एक्सिस बैंक ज्वाइन किया और बैंक की जो दुनिया है वो काफी अलग है, सर्विस ओरिएंटेड इंडस्ट्री है. वहां पे मुझे ऐसे पहली बार मुझे महसूस हुआ कि टेक्नोलॉजी और डिजिटल कितना बदल गया है. आजकल लोग ज्यादातर बैंक में नहीं जाते, काफी कुछ मोबाइल पे करते हैं. तो एफएमसीजी वर्ल्ड से बैंकिंग वर्ल्ड और अभी महिंद्रा ग्रुप में, जहाँ पे काफी सारे इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, काफी सारे कंपनीज हैं, काफी सेक्टर्स हैं. तो राइट फ्रॉम XUV 700 which is really a really swanky, posh looking vehicle, to the tractor, to selling Mahindra Finance, again finance products for semi-urban India. So ऐसे देखा जाए तो Mahindra is almost in the life of every person in the country, and it's a very strong Indian brand. And जो आत्मनिर्भर की बात हो रही है, तो उस हिसाब से तो Mahindra really fits the bill. It's Indian, it touches the life of many Indians. So it's been a great journey, and I think each of the industries, whether it was advertising, whether it was FMCG, whether it was banking, all the 3 have enabled me to get great experiences. And I've spent a year now in Mahindra, and it's been fantastic.
Absolutely, it's been fantastic. आपने अपनी जर्नी एक तरह से समराइज की. 25 years, I'm sure learnings along the way, बहुत कुछ सीखा, देखा, समझा. Of course there must be challenges too. So मैं आपसे आपका experience और आपकी कोई particular any experience that you would like to share with us, which gives us a sense of how women, as they grow up in the organizations, the kind of challenges that they face. क्योंकि हम कहीं ना कहीं वो स्टोरी के साथ रिलेट करते हैं. Most women actually end up seeing that, oh, I was not the only one. It was somebody else who dealt with that, and sometimes get inspired and say, अगर उन्होंने कर लिया तो, even I can do it, etc. So, आपके life में अभी तक की journey में कोई ऐसे experience that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I think if you look at a data point, Swati, the maximum, the maximum attrition happens when actually women step into maternity, and especially when they become mothers. That's a vulnerable period in their time. And most organizations, what they end up doing is to actually say, अच्छा अभी ये maternity leave से वापस आ रही हैं, ये इस मदर को हम सॉफ्टर रोल दे देते हैं. Let's not give her a challenging role because she's got she's got a family and she's got responsibilities at home. But I think that is an assumption. I think if there are women who are seriously interested in their careers and are interested in a fast track career, then don't mommy track their roles. That's my biggest learning, because you lose very good women when you mommy track roles. Let the woman decide whether she wants a soft track or she wants a fast track. Give such women challenging roles. When they come back, they will stay with you. And that's what my boss did with me. Actually, she gave me a very challenging role, and I really was able to bring my best self to work. So the mistakes that sometimes organizations make is that they assume on behalf of the woman, and it's important to let the woman decide. So this is a very important part in retaining high caliber women in the workforce.
Absolutely. And I think यही एक बड़ी challenge है आज के वक्त, because your biological clock and your career clock kind of work together. And sometimes you have to just prioritize for a bit, and then just to come back and adjust. वो एक बात है. And I think we are starting to understand, and more importantly organizations अब ये बात समझते हैं with good leaders. I think that being recognized is a very big change in itself. Absolutely right. मैं आपसे जानना चाहूंगी, जब हम boardrooms की बात करते हैं, and I know for many years women were not taken very seriously, or they were not really the part of decision making. It was more in on paper than in spirits, their inclusion on many very important decisions when I'm talking about corporate organizations. Now आज के तारीख में आपके हिसाब से क्या वो change अभी भी is not there yet? I mean, it's you think it's still in process, or there has been a significant amount of change made? What's been your experience?
I think it's a process. Okay. And, I was just looking at some data. I think globally at board levels, the representation of women is around 16.9%. But the truth is the people who actually get represented on boards, वो पहले CEOs बन चुके हैं या फिर CXO roles कर चुके हैं. So if you look at that pipeline, that representation is around 4.5-5%. Women CEOs are only 4.5-5%, and therefore it's more important to actually build a CEO pipeline, because then you will start getting representation on boards. And it's important therefore for women to actually start leading some key businesses. And that's the journey we have to be on, because the boards will be an outcome of CEO jobs. And having said that, I think we are seeing a change. I mean, if there are of course many hurdles along the way. Some of them in the organization, in the nature of organizations, in the nature of business, but some of them are also in women's minds.
I guess.
I think to a very large extent, and there is data around this which says that if a man is even 50% ready in his mind, he will put up his hand for the top job. If a woman is 80% ready for the top job, she will think twice, because 20% gap hai. So, I think women look for perfectionism, and they want to be absolutely sure that they're ready for the job. And I think that's what holds them back. But it's not enough. I think organizations have to do their part to allow women to actually come to the fore. I think sponsorships of women, especially by leaders in the organization, is very important. We talk about mentorship, but sometimes I've seen the most effective method is actually sponsorship of key women, basis their credibility, basis their performance. And when such women are backed by the right kind of people in the organization, and especially by male leaders, one does see a significant transformation at CEO levels and at boardroom levels.
Absolutely. Okay, great point, and I agree with you. The message that today's leaders or aspiring leaders, women who join the organizations with a belief that they can really make the difference, वो आगे बढ़ पाएंगी, वो lead कर पाएंगी, with the challenges that of course we spoke about. I think it's enough said, and we've all kind of absorbed it. But it obviously depends organization to organization. तो मैं दो सवाल हैं. पहला, आपकी क्या message है for the young women who are looking at a strong career, a growth oriented career, and they want to take on the leadership positions, the attributes that they must inculcate? I mean, world has changed from what it was to what it is today. So that some elements, some soft skills that you think you can point out. One, two, Mahindra Group clearly is working and has been there where we see them strongly promote women in their own ways. So tell us, वहाँ पर कौन से और initiatives company लेती है to nurture more women at the leadership roles?
Right. So my message for young women is that, your career is not a 100-meter race. Your career is a marathon. And in that career there, and especially because we are women, there will be times in life, whether it's marriage, whether it's motherhood, whether it's looking after elderly parents, that you will need to, possibly calibrate your personal life and your work life. And I think in a career of 40 years, 1 or 2 years here and there really don't matter. I think it's okay. Sometimes we beat ourselves up that I didn't get this promotion and I should have been there. I think it's okay. And this is my personal belief, by the way, that I feel in a 40-year career span, there would be 1 or 2 moments which don't go absolutely right for you, and it's fine. So stay for the marathon, and win for the marathon. The second message is ask for challenging assignments. I don't think women put up their hands up enough. They need to be pushed a bit. Put your hand up, you will get.
Believe in them more than
believe
what
in
they
yourself
think.
more. Yes. And ask for support. I mean, I think, it really, I mean, especially I can tell you this from a personal point of view, it takes a village to support a woman. And the village is not just your mother, it's not just your mother-in-law, it's also your employees, it's also your team. So there is, I mean, I would tell my team, for example, that I want to go for a parent-teacher meeting, or I will step out because my son has a football match today. And very slowly, I started realizing the men in my team also started talking about wanting to take their child to the doctor or staying back home because their wife is unwell.
And it's all right.
So
I mean, it's not.
It's all right. It's all right. Men also don't need to be, looking tough all the time. They can also, be human and actually express it. So it's important to create that environment.
Right.
And I think these 3 things have worked for me at a personal level. Or as far as the group is concerned, I think there is if I look at the kind of senior leadership hires that have happened over the last year, out of 12 senior leaders, we have actually had 9 leaders at the top level in the Mahindra Group at a corporate level. And it has been on the basis of meritocracy, because one of the things that I get very, this diversity metric agenda is actually quite, it actually may do a disservice to women, because it's like, oh, you are here because of the diversity quota. So we ensured that actually when the pipeline of recruitment happened, Swati, there were both men and women equally, and we chose depending upon who did better at the interview. So that to me is a step up. I think even when I look at my own personal journey, I came to head in customer experience and brand. But very soon I got an opportunity to be on the group executive board. I've got exposed to other boards within the organization. And that itself, that learning that comes in from being on the boards of different companies, one of which is a listed company, is itself, I think, a great learning experience. So I have deep gratitude to the organization to be looking at women, especially new women who have come into the organization, and recognizing that change needs to be brought in. And this is the need for business. It's not a feel-good thing. It's a need for the business, because customer experience and technology is going to be the new game. The new game is going to be where consumers are going to be looking at buying products digitally, and they are discovering products digitally. Some of them are not going for test drives either. Women have buying power. Women are influencing decisions. So if you don't have women sitting in your office thinking about how you're actually making products and experiences for the future, you may not have a business. So it's the business case for women.
How beautifully you correlated these things. And I think I cannot agree more on what you've just said. And I think we all have a very similar kind of story and experience to share in that sense of how you can make a difference. And of course, the teamwork, the organizations, the peers, the village, as you said, is not just your close family, but the entire ecosystem coming. Yeah, absolutely. And wonderful to hear from you, and wishing you good luck, Asha. I'm sure you will do what it takes. And, the women being recognized by good organizations and being put at leadership roles where there is a need. I think you set the right example. Thank you, Asha. Lovely speaking with you. Happy
Thank you very
Wednesday.
much.